I was going to say that SEO with Fat Joe is as peaceful as this, but then the birds are all having fights.
Did you know that Google personalizes many searches by city and Also Asked is the only tool to access live People Also Ask data at city level? Try for free at alsoasked.com.
Tired of SEO guesswork? Quadra's AI agent goes deeper to uncover high-impact optimizations and completes hours of SEO in minutes. Get started now.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's good to see so many faces. So a couple of years ago, I founded this e-commerce store in Switzerland, where I live, 5 years ago, actually. And as you can see, it sells plants, house plants, to be exact. So I want to start off with a question, so you have to do something as well. How many of you in here own at least one house plant? Oh, a lot, okay. And how many of you have ever bought a house plant online? Still quite a few, okay. Okay, good. In Switzerland, this was very, very new, very new. And I'll tell you a little bit about the market of plants. It's very saturated. I'm sure you know this. You can get plants at every corner, basically. You can get them cheap. They all look the same. In the case of Switzerland, they all stem from the same grower in the Netherlands. There's no quality issues. They're all the same. They're all good. So we have an interchangeable product in a very saturated market, and we were like, we're going to open a new houseplant store, and we're going to do it online. So kudos to us. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what we did. We're going to rush through these, as I only have 20 minutes. This is me, we already heard. I'm Gabi. I'm an SEO consultant, independent now. I do technical SEO, content strategy, and I love brand building as well. And if you could connect to me on LinkedIn, I'll also share the slides later. So that much to admin. Let's start with content, because that's kind of the big shot in our case. I don't know if you remember Panda, or if you were already in the industry back in 2011. I for sure wasn't. I wasn't around. I was around, but I was doing other things. So that's when we really started to look at, or Google started to target thin content, right? Poor quality content, poor UX as well. And product pages are especially prone to this, even though 87% of customers say that product content is basically why they say yes or no to a product. So this is kind of surprising, and also you might think, yeah, well, product pages are pretty much optimized nowadays, right? Well, no. I'm going to walk you through an example. I love patch plans, by the way. It's one of the founding fathers or ideas for our shop, because they have great UX, great quality product imagery, but they could do a little better on their product pages, in my opinion. And one thing you might see straight away is they give names to their plants. And from a standpoint of plants are living beings, and we need to take care of them, and they're more like pets than they are decoration objects, this makes sense, right? But from an SEO perspective, we just don't like it that the keyword isn't there. And we also don't get a lot of information here. We scroll down, and we get upselling, cross-selling right away. We didn't have a chance really to say yes or no to this product, and we already get more products. And then we scroll down, and we get absolutely no use of a keyword whatsoever. We get a few watering and light conditions. And then we scroll down and get quick facts and about Marble Queen Pothos, because that's the plant's name, but it's hidden by an accordion. And we get You Might Also Love, which is quite generic as well. So we want to make the panda a bit happier. I wanted to find a really happy smiley face, and I couldn't, so it's just a panda with a lipstick, but you get what I want to say. So this is our product page. It's been revamped ever since, but I just want to draw your attention to what's above the fold here. We get a breadcrumb, we get a title that's keyword optimized, we get reviews, we have the total number of reviews, also great, we get the price, we get shipping information, also something that a lot of people forget on product pages. We can choose the pot, because that's what you do when you buy plants. And then we get a big, nice call to action, lovely color, 3 company USPs, and then already a little bit of a testimonial. A picture didn't have space there, but remember that's all above the fold, even on a smaller, this is on my laptop screen, so even on a smaller screen. And then I always ask myself now, if I'm not convinced by this, what do? I scroll down, and then I get a bunch of text. And this text is not too long, not too short, and it's keyword oriented. And this is where most shops, in my opinion, lack depth. So they give like technical specifications maybe they talk a little bit about the plant family, they give the size of the plant, but they lack unique information. And I would argue that especially in the realm of interchangeable products like sofas and lamps and plants, you can do much better here than your competitors. Because let's be real, in most of the time, this just won't cut it. It's too little text, and as you can see, shop similar, that's just too early. We didn't have an opportunity to say yes or no to this product. So what can you do? You can be more detailed than your competitors. You can say, give examples how to use the product. You can show how to use the product. You can include FAQs, stuff like that. Super powerful, you can say if that product is not for you. You can discourage sales. So in the case of our plants, if this plant needs to be watered twice daily, and you're someone who travels a lot, it's just not going to be the plant for you. And in the long term, your customers are going to be happier if you let them make this decision right there and there. You can also include informational points if that's also part of the user intent. So why would you do that? It's a product page. Why do we need information here? Well, it's because it's what I call information gain on product pages as well, because you want to give the user at this point everything they need to know to make that informed decision. So be as helpful as possible and let them know, if I buy this plant, will I be happy or not? And reduce friction and make it as clear as possible. Because that also, Monstera, that plant is called Monstera, and that's a very, very short head keyword. And that also, including information gain there and informational pieces there, will also help you rank for that short-term keyword. Because for a person who wants to buy this Monstera, if you help them also know how to take care of this Monstera, and for people who Google Monstera to see how to take care of them, you also give them the opportunity to buy, and you make it really clear and interlink those pages, that's going to be a great experience. So just make sure that collection page, product page, and informational guide, best in class. I want to give you an example of another industry that I came across, and I feel like they do a good job. This is ASOS. And look at all the information you get above the fold. And I just want to point out this little by the look thingy. You go down, and this is already so much better in terms of similar products, right? You get a look, what the model has on, and you can buy what she has on, and then you get people also bought, which is also better than just you might also like how do you know me? How do you know what I like? Let's get on with visuals, with ASOS as well. Video. So we're talking about making a physical product, and with plants it's the same, right? A very physical product that people want to see and need to see and sometimes even feel, make it as tangible as possible online. That's not trivial, that's super hard. But video can do the trick, right? Because we need to see how fabrics flow when walking. We need to also see product imagery from all angles, from the back, for example, and also on different sizes of models. That's not trivial, yet so many shops don't do this. And also at this point I want to say, also consider your loading times and accessibility. Make sure you include the alt tag here, make sure you compress those images, and you also, of course, make it all responsive. Just a word on that. Another example is Mr. Specs UK, where we could talk about the lack of keyword in the H1, but we're going to talk about this little handy thing called the virtual try-on, which is awesome, right? If you want to make a physical product as tangible as possible online, a virtual try-on is awesome. And as SEOs, you have the data to inform those kind of tools, right? You know what people look for and what people want. So you have to be the ones that be like, okay, we need something like this. Because if you're in a saturated market and you don't do something like this, it's going to be very hard to stand out. So when we talk back to our plant example, on the left we have product imagery, and of course when we click there, the big picture changes, and also when we click on different pots, then we see how the plant looks like in the pot. And then we have aktuelle Größe, which is German and translates to current size. So plants, being living beings, every time a new shipment came to our warehouse and they looked slightly different than before, we would take new product pictures, because we want to create trust in the users that they're actually getting this plant. And this might be just that it's more bushy than the others, or it's bigger, or it's smaller, or the leaves are bigger and smaller. So we would include this and say, hey, those are the actual plants that you get. So super important for us was having the photography and design team in-house. When you scroll down on the left, the product imagery, you get this, AR, so a little 3D model of the plant. And we spent weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of refining these leaves, because it's super difficult to make it not look like you're playing The Sims. So on desktop, this doesn't do much. You can play around with it a bit. But on mobile, this was last week in my office corner. I can click on that, and without downloading an app or anything, it opens my phone camera, and I see the plant in its size. Because what can be a barrier of buying plants online? How big is it going to be in my space? So I can see what it looks like in my space. And we also did this little campaign called Monster Plants, where we had people create monster plants and project them on very weird surfaces and take pictures, and then we would vote which was the weirdest, but that's just a side note. Then trust elements, you know the gist, reviews, testimonials, stuff like that. Here I want to go into detail and into nuance, because if you scroll down on our product pages, you get a whole bunch of reviews. And in the age of AI listing pages, basically, where collection pages, listing pages are being abandoned because Google and AI tools do all of that for us, we need the product page, and we need people to feel safe when they buy plants online or another physical product online. So instead of just showing the star reviews, we also show that these people are verified customers. So if they use the same email address that they did the purchase with, they get a little tick, verified customers. And we also ask them nuanced questions, right? So would you buy this as a gift? Would you buy it again? Did it look like it looked like on the pictures? Because that's a concern that people have. Consider this example, that's Digitech, that's a Swiss electronics shop, and some random pair of headphones. If you scroll down on the product page past the specifications and everything, you get a whole section of testing, so test reports by a bunch of people. And from Digitech's data, you get the likelihood that you will have to return this product. That's awesome information, right? Because they sell a bunch of headphones and they have the data which ones were returned and which ones weren't. So the likelihood that you will have to return that. I found that awesome. If you scroll down, you get user-generated content. Users can ask questions, user can answer questions. You could also do product comparisons there, done by users, done in video. Product testing reports, again, done by the users. Digitech is so on with their reviews game that they even use it in their advertising. So they're like, if you buy with us, you get trusted reviews. So they even take that into their advertising and publish the one-star reviews as they are on their pages. I don't have a picture for this, so you're just gonna have to believe me because we don't do it anymore and I forgot to take a screenshot. When we expanded into the German market, Germany is a very price-sensitive market, even more than Switzerland. Swiss people are used to pay a lot of money. Germans aren't, and we have pricey plans. So what we did was, even though our plants are expensive, we put like a little thermostat down there and said, well, 40% of this is margin. That much goes into logistics. That much is salary of our people. That much is the actual plant. And that much is service. So they would understand why they pay so much for our plants. It's not just the plant, it's the whole service around that you get. So that worked a treat as well. We're almost there. Internal linking. Short and sweet, this is the care guide for the Monstera, so the blah, blah, blah. And what I want to tell you here is just link the hell out of those blog posts. Don't be afraid of overlinking. No, I've never suffered a penalty for overlinking. I've linked and linked and linked, and it's done me so many favors, so you can see all the links that are underlined. But don't undermine the user intent of this page. It's informational. So when do I link to a product? Not the third word that will be Monstera. No, I link to the product when it's most relevant. So in this case, I was talking about the Monstera variegata, which is a certain type of Monstera. And I'll show it, and I link to it. Fine. And also at the end of this blog post, I won't just link to my best sellers or to my most expensive plants because I have to sell them. No, I will link to plants that maybe look similar or are similar in care needs. And I link from my product to my content and from my content to my product. I link more from my content to my product. That's my only rule. That's the rule. But I do link from the product to the content as well, because again, if you're there and you read those few informational bits and you're like, can I really take care of this plant like I should be taking care of this plant? And you need that information, then it's okay to go to that informational guide. It's okay to link out. You're not going to lose anybody. A little bonus at this point, I was talking about reviews. And reviews are a great, great point in time to build your brand. So if people haven't bought from you, and especially you're selling maybe pricey plants, they're going to go to the reviews page and they're going to filter for one-star reviews. They're not going to believe you if you don't have one-star reviews. So leave them there, but don't leave them uncommented. Because in our case, people that give us one-star reviews are mostly those that were like, oh, I ordered this plant and it arrived completely destroyed. It was upside down in the parcel, all the soil fell out, it had like the leaves broke off, and we offer a guarantee for that. You don't have to trust us that we'll be able to send you the plant. If you send us a picture, we'll replace it, no more questions asked. So obviously these people didn't know that. So what we do is in the answer, we explain this so that maybe we've already tracked you down and we sent you the replacement, maybe we will, maybe you can contact us, but the people who haven't bought from us yet will read this and be like, oh, I'm safe buying these plants here online. So by implementing all of this in our product pages, we increased traffic, we have great conversion rates, increased revenue as well. I can't show you the exact numbers because I'm no longer with the company, but I can show you third-party tools. That's what third-party tools are for. So this is our visibility index over time. And as you can see, product is the red line. It makes out a significant part of the overall visibility. It's not just collection pages, which is green, and not informational pages like pages and blogs. So it's really the products that drive traffic as well. We have close to 12,000 page one rankings, which I love this graph so much. I'm really proud of that. And all of these are super commercially interesting terms. Those are plant names. So as I said, plant names have two intentions. Either they want to care for them or they want to buy them. And we're there on page one. You can't get around our brand in Switzerland and not in Germany either. So that's how we made the panda happy. Thank you.